What's up, everybody? So, I don't know, I got the scruffy beard. Dude, this is the longest I've ever had it. Making another video here. I don't make many videos. The reasons why I even have a channel, and mainly besides my viewing pleasure, and really use it as a source to further educate and inform myself on current events, and being a good outlet as to just make sure kind of like the world's not setting itself on fire, which is almost there, right? I make videos like sparingly, every month or every 2 months or so, whenever I really feel like I need to get and rant about something. So today I commented on a YouTuber's channel where he said it was titled like "My Nightmare with COVID-19." And when something like that pops up on my feed, and then I look at his subscribers, he has 2 million subscribers. I just feel compelled to even at least watch a little bit of it and see the type of information this guy is putting out for 2 million people. And as soon as he started talking, I felt compelled to leave a message, to call him a liar. Because you call things out as you see them. And when somebody tells me that the sun's made out of chocolate, and I can clearly see that it's not, I'm going to call you a liar. And that's how clear I can see what COVID is. It's not through the information that is propagated through social media, mainstream news, that actually was the motivating factor of why they were so pushy on telling you that this thing is a pandemic. Meanwhile, I don't see anybody getting affected around me. That all this change is happening because of what comes through a television or what comes through a phone, right? Like social media. So I started doing my research because it started affecting my life directly. The little joys and pleasures that I take in, it started affecting my life, right? So I started doing research on what's disrupting society, what's disrupting my wants and essential needs, right? Because if you like playing softball every Friday night and you see that as a stress relief, as a way to kind of get away from the world, whatever your stress reliever is, I feel like somebody took that away from me. So I'm going to look up why. The very least thing I could do is inform myself on what's going on. So I started doing research on what coronavirus is. And the more mainstream articles that I read, the less and less it makes sense. A lot of contradictory information. So anytime I see that, now I want to dive into, wait a minute, I started telling myself, like, I don't even know what a virus is. I don't know what a common cold is. I don't know what what influenza is. I don't know how disease works. And something told me to start there, to start studying. And not so much what doctors study. Doctors don't study that. And you come about that once you start really diving into that. Medical researchers and scientists are the ones who do the measurables and the experiments and the research, the medical research, to determine whether a disease or virus, number one, can be labeled as that, or number two, is contagious. They're called postulates. Postulates is like a test they put the bacteria through. And if it passes, all the postulates, I believe there's 3 in one and then there's 4 in the other. All right, there's 2 different type of postulates, 2 different type of tests or exams that they put bacteria through to determine whether it's an infectious disease or it can be considered a virus. And once you start learning this information, you want to yell it off the top of a mountain because you realize that you were duped, that you were lied to. My entire life, I thought that the reason I got sick is because I got it for somebody. I caught it from something or somebody, right? And once you start actually seeing and learning through medical research what a virus is, how it works, how things are spread, you start waking up. You start saying, wait a minute, then this doesn't make sense. They're telling us that this is a virus. I know what a virus is now. And I see that it can't be spread because it's not a living thing. A virus is a solvent that your body produces to detoxify its cells. And it's not a living thing. And a virus can't survive outside of your body because your body's the one who's creating it for its beneficial needs to come back to a healthy state. They're telling me that I can catch that. So something's wrong there. And now, the way I share information with people is by simply asking questions and just getting them to a point to realize that they don't know what a virus is. They don't know what a common cold is. They have no idea why they're really wearing that mask, besides the fact that they're doing it because someone told them to do it. And last time I checked, I have free will. God gave me free will. And I don't have to do the things that other individuals tell me to do. I don't care what title you have. You can tell me that you've been a doctor, that you studied to become a doctor at MIT. Through the grace of God, now I know what you studied because I informed myself on what doctors study, and then they don't study infectious diseases. They do not study. If they do it independently. And those are the doctors that you see that turn holistic. Those are the doctors that you see that are getting silenced because they are trying to share the information that I'm trying to share with you. And I'm no doctor. I'm just an individual, a motivated individual who wants to verify everything that he hears. I want to refine the information so I can get as close as to the truth as I can. Because last time I checked, I don't like living a lie. I'm not a fake person, so I don't like living a fake way. I want to live life as true as I can. So people, when you are sharing information, cite your sources. Because if you're saying that you got this information from CNN, MSNBC, that's not a very credible source. And all you got to do to know whether a source is credible or not is to see how they came about the information and see who they got it from, if they got it from somebody else, if it's not organic. And if they got it from somebody else, then that's not your source. Your source has changed. And then you need to know how they came about the information. Because if it doesn't matter who, it could be Dr. Fauci, it can be the other lady that stands up there and talks, it can be the head of the CDC, they can tell me the sun's made out of chocolate. But I'm going to want to see evidence that the sun's made out of chocolate. Or I'm going to want to see how he came about that conclusion. And that's the problem, people. You don't want to see that. A lot of people can care less because they're too lazy. They're too lazy. They don't want to go through the effort of reading things, of reading information, of seeing how the people and medical researchers come about their conclusions. You'd rather be worried about when the next football season's coming up, if there's going to be football, if there's going to be... You're waiting for things to go back to normal without you knowing what's causing the change. And I don't know what to tell you. If you think that things are going back to normal and you don't see that things are changing, I don't know what to tell you. And another thing, if you do see the change and you're not looking up why, and you're just choosing to believe the why out of mainstream sources, I don't know what to tell you either. That's on you. It's very simply put. If you believe somebody over anything and you don't verify it, you are manipulated. The only person that I am manipulated by, it's not even a person, is the Bible. Because there's no way that I can verify the Bible. Well, in a way and symbolically I can't through creation. But I choose to be manipulated by that. because I choose to believe the Bible. Outside of that, I verify everything because everything is verifiable. I've been in business ever since I graduated college. And there's a term in business that says, everything's negotiable. Well, everything's verifiable. Everything. And when you can verify more information yourself, the more knowledge you're going to have, and the more power that comes with that. Do I seek power? I can care less. I can care less about power. I can care less about being in the limelight. I don't care about any of that. And I can care less about the people who care about that, who glorify other people who have other things or have other material possessions or have a different profession, entertainers, athletes. I've been with them all. I've been around that environment. I'm not impressed. Not impressed. I'm more impressed by the individual who actually wants to motivate themselves to verify their existence, verify information as much as they can, than those who are the richest people and say they're going to do one thing and do another. Hypocrites. Verify information before you start talking like you know what you're talking about. Comments on there responding to me saying, advising people to read a book instead of believing doctors. Yeah, why don't you try reading what the doctors read so you know where what they're telling you comes from? And you'll see yourself. You'll see yourself. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy because of the way you're brought up, to have it the easy way, right? To trust in your doctor, to trust in your government, to be a good citizen, what it means to be a good citizen. That if you question authority, you have problems, that you're stepping out of line, that you shouldn't question authority over certain things. I question everything. I don't care who you are. The only reason you exist right now is because I exist. And it's as simple as that. And because you exist and you're telling me that you have a certain position in society and that gives you the right to tell me what to do, doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. Because guess what? If I'm not here, you're not here. So you see how we're equal? You see how we stand shoulder to shoulder? I don't stand above or below anybody. Anybody. I stand below one spirit. That's God Almighty. That's the God from the King James Bible. Yahushua. Everybody else is shoulder to shoulder. If I don't exist, the world doesn't either. Most people can't wrap themselves around that because they don't care. They don't care enough to even ask themselves about why they're even here, let alone how they even got here, or what this experience means. I'm not saying that I know what it means. I'm not saying I know why I'm here or I know what put me here. But what I do know is that when I go to sleep, the world's gone. So that's how I know, and I feel confident to tell people that don't tell me what to do. I don't care who you are. You know why? Because without me, there is no you. And you don't see me telling you what to do. I want to be able to motivate people. I don't want to tell people what to do. They need to do certain things, but I'm nobody to tell them to do it. I want to motivate them to see why they have to do it, or why they should do something, like verify information that's causing change in your life. Because there's an outer catalyst in your experience that's changing your experience, and it's coming for you. It's coming for your experience inside. I feel bad for the people who are going to line up for this shot, for this vaccine. You don't think there's a vaccine? You don't believe me? You obviously aren't informed. You need to look up your mainstream articles because they're telling you that there's a vaccine. And Trump's going to mobilize the military, Operation Warp Speed. I feel bad for the people who are willingly want this vaccine because they genuinely believe what's going on. Because they have no ill will to motivate themselves to verify information. Because once you take this, there's no going back. There's no going back. Pray for all of us. You know, someone said, may God have mercy on your soul, to what I said. And I just responded, may God have mercy on all our souls. Because I'm not perfect by any means. And there's a thing in the Bible that says, as your heart thinketh, so a man is. That scares me a little bit. It scares me a little bit. But I'm not fearful of what's coming. I'm not fearful of what's going on. The only fear I have is the fear of God. And to fear God, at least the God of the Bible, is to hate evil. Because if you don't know, hate is a byproduct of fear. Fear is the root cause of hate. So when you hate somebody, that's your ego protecting itself from something. So I protect myself from evil. So I fear God. Verify all the information that you read, no matter from who you get it from. Verify your sources you're getting the information from. Make sure you know how they got that information. Otherwise, you're going to continue to get manipulated. I love everyone. Please verify information. Peace.